There have been 5 mass extinction events on planet Earth where species have been wiped out of existence within the blink of an eye. But what if I told you there was plausibly almost a sixth, and it almost wiped out any chance of humanity existing? Now, the problem is the proof of this is not archaeological in nature, so it is somewhat difficult to pin down. But through some logical estimations, we can paint a pretty good picture if it did in fact happen. You see, around 900,000 years ago, scientists claim around 98.7% of the population in Africa died, leaving only around 1,280 surviving people that could breed. A number that didn't change much for the next 117,000 years. But how do we know this, especially if there's no archaeological evidence? Well, scientists discovered this when studying human genetic diversity. What they found was, well, it only went so far back. Not to mention, between 950 and 600,000 years ago, it's a bit of a black hole in archaeology, meaning there really isn't much out there to find, which does kind of line up with the whole genealogical testing. So then, how can we tell what actually almost killed off our ancestors? Well, we can't, but there are some clues that were left behind. Now, remember I said that the population of Earth basically got smacked down to 1,280 breeding people, and that number didn't change for around 117,000 years, which would probably indicate a horrendous drought. And there's geological evidence to back up that claim as well. You see, around 900,000 years ago, a cooling period began which would have possibly led to a severe drought, meaning that all it would take is for a major food source to disappear in Africa, and that could have had massive ramifications on the population. And if that drought continued, it would mean that the population of Earth wouldn't be able to grow beyond the yields of the drought until it was done. Now, I keep alluding to the idea that this is all conjecture, and that's because, well, it is. It's not like we have photographic evidence of anything that far back. And with that lack of archaeological evidence, this may well have to stay as an educated guess. And, not to mention, the results of this study have been challenged by other scientists, and there's still quite a bit of skepticism within the scientific community. However, if it's true, that means humanity as we know it emerged from a limited gene pool, and that all of us on this planet now are much closer to each other than we ever thought before. How's that for 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, eh?